Hi, y'all. This is Lori Kraft with the Kraft team in Next Home Realty Center, and I apologize for sounding like a 100-year-old smoker, but I've got a sinus infection, so I've got that lovely drip that makes you sound froggish, so I apologize. But I did want to bring you a Tuesday tip tonight because there's a lot going on in the market, a lot of misinformation in a way, and a lot of just musings that we don't really have all the answers to. So I wanted to actually talk to the buyers out there because I know y'all are struggling. I know because I've got buyers too. And I tell you what, there are many days when I sit here and I think, I don't like it over here. I want to be over there with the listings. Over here, it's very hard. And it is very hard. And we are seeing markets in all kinds of areas that we have just never before encountered. And I did mention that last week. And I'm mentioning it again because I don't want you to feel alone. I want you to know that this is just rough. It is. So if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling defeated, if you put in your 15th offer and you've offered 20,000 over list and you still lost, you're not alone. There's a lot of us out here. Markets like Austin are absolutely nuts. I think I've mentioned it before. I had a buyer that I just love, and he was looking to list his house, and he thought for sure that he had this offer. And he called me and he got all excited. He said, come on, I think we're ready to move. We're going to list this. I got a house in New Braunfels. I'm ready to go. And then by the time I got over there and he started talking to me about it, they lost it. And he didn't understand because he'd gone in 10,000 over list. Did not have the heart to tell him. But the average is 75. And that's not on $1 million house. That's on maybe, $400,000 house, $500,000 house. We have listings in California, in the LA area, that are going $200,000 to $300,000 over list. Some of those are paying all cash. So it begs the question, when's the crash coming? When are all these people going to be sorry they put all their money into this house? And my answer to that is I don't know. And quite frankly, I don't know if it's ever coming. And I think any realtor out there that's speculating, well, we historically do this. Every 12 years we crash. I think you really need to look at your history a little bit because there's usually factors that push that. It's a different kind of market right now. What you're having is people who are very cash positive. What drives those crashes are people that are upended. So they don't have enough equity in their home to be able to sell it and get out. And then they end up either getting foreclosed on or selling at a loss. That's really not the case right now. What we're seeing is people that have been gathering money for a long time. A lot of them are millennials that have been saving and saving and saving. They're taking advantage of these great rates. And so they are actually cash positive. And they're coming into these homes, even though they're offering way above list and paying the difference, they're cash positive in equity. So that makes a different kind of market. And it doesn't really lend itself to the kind of situations we saw back in the 80s when the gas market fell out in Houston, oil and gas, and people were underwater with their houses, or 2008, which was different because that was more about flat out fraud. We were qualifying people for mortgages that they could not afford that home. Now, having said all that, would I say to my buyers, hey, I think you should go in $100K over list, and I think you should make up the difference in cash, and I think you're gold? I would not do that. I think you have to go in with your eyes open. You have to know that there's a lot of risk in the marketplace right now. And make sure whatever you're buying, you're planning to stay there for a while. I would not enter this market with the idea that this is going to be your 3-year house or your 4-year house. I would say it's a very typical investment strategy to think 5 to 7 years at a minimum, and in this kind of market, maybe even 10. Because you want to be able to at least break even, right? And you want to be able to enjoy your home. Homes are a different kind of investment, unless you're just an investor. And I still have investors investing right now. Because they find something that works for them, they're going to invest on it, they're going to hold and flip, they're going to hold on to it for those 5 to 7 years, max out their taxes, and then sell. But for most of us, a home is a very emotional thing. This is where we're going to be with our friends, with our family. This is where we're going to bring our children home, our animals to. We want this to be a place that we love. So it's a different kind of investment, just not financial, it's emotional. So when you're thinking about that kind of purchase, I want you to think, am I going to love this enough to maybe not make a killing on it, to maybe not even make money, to maybe even overinvest to the point that in 7 years, if I have to sell it, I may not make any money at all, and I may even lose money. And if you're okay with that, then this market's fine. Offering over is fine. And the reality is, do I know that the market's going to crash? No, I don't know that. And I would, you know what, I'm going to tell somebody, oh, hey, Stephanie, I'm going to tell my realtor friends that are telling me, oh, Lori, I promise you in 2 years, everybody's going to be ruined the day. They paid that price for that house. Well, you know what? I need some tips from you. I need some good stocks to invest in. I need the name of some horses to bet on. Because sounds like you got some kind of crystal ball that I don't got. And most people don't have. So we don't know. It's a guess. It's a good guess, usually, but it's a guess. So I can't tell you that your house is going to lose money year over year if you purchase now. I will say some markets are much more risky than other markets. Houston tends to be more of a stable market. We don't tend to have real high bubbles that go over the 15 to 20% mark. I can only think of one other time, and it was 2015 when the Woodlands did that. They came close. They didn't hit 20. They hit right at 15, as did Memorial. And guess what? Those people still made money on their house because they're selling it this year. I promise you. So we don't know. We can't tell. Are we due for a drop? Yes. We've been in a seller's market pretty consistently since about 2014. And I mentioned this last week. Some people would argue as far back as 2012. And now those prices are really hitting the top. But have we reached peak? I don't know. If you're feeling like, well, I'm just going to hold back and wait for everything to fall out, you may be waiting quite a long time. And fallout may not look like what you think. It might be that $500,000 house that is your dream house that you want now, but you're not willing to outbid somebody at $525,000 or $530,000 to get in 3 to 5 years, maybe at $575,000. And then your interest rate is no longer 3%. That rate might be 5 or 6%. And we all know the lower the rate, the more money your more house your money can buy. So those are things to really think about. It's markets like this that really, really benefit from realtors because you want somebody that can't promise you what's going to happen, but they at least can bring you information so that you make good decisions based on the best information available. If you know that the highest price a neighborhood has gotten is $700,000, and you have your eye on a listing that's listed at $750,000 and people are outbidding it up to $800,000, then you know you're running a $100,000 risk. Will the market catch up to it? Maybe. And maybe not. But at least you know, because your realtor said, here are all the comps. If you're going in blind and you're depending on that listing agent, you have to know to ask her for comparables. By the way, if you ask him or her for comparables, they're supposed to give them to you, whether they represent you or not. But if you don't ask, you don't get. So how are you supposed to know? You fell in love with the house. You made an emotional decision. Maybe you still do it. But with a realtor that can run those comparables for you and can give you some introspective into what the market looks like. Is it rising? Is it flattening? Is it dropping? Is more inventory becoming present? Is less inventory present? If you have somebody in your back seat that can help you with that, you can make an informed decision. And then again, maybe you still offer $800,000. Maybe you still pay the difference in cash. Maybe you pay the whole thing in cash. But at least you knew what you were getting into. When you go in blindly without help, it's a little bit risky. I shouldn't say a little bit. It's a lot risky. So again, different type of investment. It's a heart investment. So that 5 or 7 years may be worth that 100 grand to have that beautiful backyard for your family, for you, for that peace, for that joy. And maybe it's not. It's just something you have to consider. So if you have any questions about what the market looks like it's doing or what the market's actually doing right this very second, because I promise you tomorrow it's going to change and I'll have new information, call me. Call us here at the Craft Team. We would love to help you craft your new beginning. And I called it that for a reason, because this is all about new starts, fresh beginnings, new perspective. And we would love to help you. And we will help you craft your new beginning with our team and Next Home Realty Center. Hope y'all have a wonderful evening and enjoy this great night. Gosh, it was a beautiful day.